Explicit information on politics, economy, and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Join Moses, Chukuma, and Fina on Voice of the People TM. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
This is African News on Voice of the People Television, where we don't just bring you the news, we bring you Africa's heartbeat, the policies that shapes our world, and the economy that determines our future. African News on Voice of the People Television. Stay with us.
My name is Tao Familoni, and here's to VOP TV. Keep watching, stay tuned, do not touch that dial.
Arararara, my name is Made Kuti, and you're watching BOP TV. Keep watching.
Welcome, my name is Zika Davis. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, boys, viewers, everybody, boys and girls. This is VOP TV. Do you know what that means? Voice of the People TV. You don't have a voice, don't come here. You better make sure your voice is heard.
Well, hello and welcome to Niza on Voice of the People TV. I am Vivian Oguche.
And I am Nena Ndamdioto. Before we begin the news, kindly visit our website www.vop.ng for fresh and trending news. Here are the headlines. Tinubu swears in NPC chair, Perm presides over FEC meeting.
Also, Senate confirms Christopher Musa as Defense Minister.
Senate backs death penalty for kidnappers, informant, and others.
U.S. vows visa bans over alleged Christian genocide in Nigeria.
Nigerians share mixed reaction to Senate's excise duty increase on soft drinks.
Lagos vows stronger inclusion for persons with disabilities.
On the foreign scene, Kremlin says Putin accepted some U.S. proposals.
Well, in business news, Edo State assures investors of business-friendly environment.
In sport, Edo to host premier sports festival for Niger Delta states.
And in the world of entertainment, Burna Boy covers funeral costs for Stockton shooting victims.
Now the news and details. President Bola Tinubu is sworn in the newly appointed chairman of the National Population Commission, Aminu Yusuf, alongside 2 commissioners of the agency as well as 5 federal permanent secretaries. The ceremony took place just before the president presided over the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, Abuja. After citations were read, the 5 permanent secretaries, Abdul Karim Ibrahim, John Eza Mama, Abdul Sule Garba, Isiaku Muhammad, and Ukaire Chibowu took their oaths of office and signed the register. Yusuf, appointed NPC boss on October 9, was sworn in alongside 2 of the commission's members, including Dr. Tonga Betara from Yobe State.
And now to a story we've been following. The Senate has confirmed former Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa retired as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense. His confirmation follows President Bola Tinubu's nomination submitted earlier during plenary. The process began after Senate President Godswill Akpabio read the President's request seeking approval for Musa to replace Mohammed Badaru, who resigned on Monday for health reasons. Akpabio then suspended Senate rules to allow the retired military chief into the chamber for screening, after which lawmakers approved his nomination.
The session briefly turned heated when Senator Sani Musa proposed that the nominee take a bow and go. Several lawmakers opposed the idea, insisting on the full screening. Akpabio intervened, stressing that both Nigerians and international community were watching, and directed that the questioning continue.
Confirmation of a nominee, a ministerial nominee, in compliance with the provisions of Section 1472 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. I am pleased to forward for confirmation by the Senate the nomination of Christopher Kwabin Musa as Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It's actually General Christopher Musa.
Well, a key issue raised was a controversial withdrawal of troops from Government Comprehensive Girls Secondary School, Maga, in Kebbi State, shortly before the November 17 abduction of students.
Been news of soldiers, brave ones, trying to confront the situation as it is, as it confronts them. Order comes from above for them to withdraw, putting the lives of our people in danger. Like the Senate President has said, you know what to do. We want to know a little bit of what you want to do. But my major concern is Senator Uzo Kalu mentioned on this floor one day that taxpayers' money is being wasted on training our soldiers. And because of certain appointments, young soldiers who have attained a certain level of career that their knowledge is being needed most are being retired. I didn't appreciate that then until when I saw the retired soldiers that accompanied you. When they say general this, general that, I didn't see anyone with a gray hair. And I feel sad that we are wasting such talents.
Musa pledged to order a full-scale investigation into the withdrawal once he assumes office. He also addressed the killing of Brigadier General Musa Uba in Borno State, assuring the Senate that such incidents would receive immediate attention. The new defense minister vowed to strengthen military professionalism and boost the nation's capacity to confront internal threats. He assured lawmakers and Nigerians of his commitment to national security.
Ensuring that Nigeria is secured and safe. But we cannot do it alone. Nobody, no single individual can do it. No single parastatal can do it. We need the support of everyone, every Nigerian and everyone living in Nigeria, working together as a team, because it's going to be a teamwork. The enemies we are dealing with are evil forces that don't mean this country well. And they have no respect for human life. And that's why it's important for us to know that if we don't work together, we'll give them the opportunity to continue to perpetrate the evil acts they've been doing. And that's why it's important that we first must love one another, understand that we're in this together, and believe that the challenges we're facing is a Nigerian challenge. not only for the armed forces or for the security forces, but it's for everyone working together. I want to assure you, we want to work united as we did when I was the Chief of Defense Staff. The important thing is for us to take the ownership of the challenges confronting our dear nation. These are things that we can't defeat. We can't win this war. But until we are deliberate about it, until the way we are determined, knowing that we are brothers and sisters, and God has a purpose in putting us here together, it's not to destroy ourselves, but to build ourselves up. And that's for me.
Now, the Senate has taken a major step toward tightening Nigeria's anti-kidnapping laws, proposing the death penalty for kidnappers, as well as anyone who finances, enables, or provides information to them. Lawmakers debated amendments to the 2022 Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act during plenary. The bill, sponsored by Senate leader Okpeyemi Bamidele, seeks to classify kidnapping, hostage-taking, and related offenses as acts of terrorism, giving security agencies broader powers to track and dismantle criminal networks nationwide.
Prevention and Prohibition Act to designate kidnapping as an act of terrorism and to prescribe the death penalty for such offenses and for related matters, 2025 SB 965. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to lead the debate on the general principles of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Amendment Bill 2025. The bill seeks to amend the extant law to, among other things, designate kidnapping, hostage-taking, and related offenses acts of terrorism, and to prescribe death penalty for such offenses without option of fine or alternative sentence, among others.
The debate dominated the session with contributions from several lawmakers, including Adams Oshomole, Orji Uzokalu, and Minority Leader Abba Moro.
We also cured the mischief in the Terrorist Act, because we have seen in the distant past where terrorists apprehended who have killed, maimed, and committed heinous crimes were, in the name of de-radicalization, they were arrested, quote and unquote, de-radicalized, retrained, fed with taxpayers' money, and as we know now, some of these guys went back to continue with the acts of terrorism.
So I believe this bill is apt, is a natural thing to do, and we will go, as my colleague Wabako said, we go for the informat sponsors, people they use their houses to do this thing, including everybody involved, whether security agents, whether it's police, whether it's army, whether it's navy, air force, or lawyer, anybody will be putting in that bill. We have to reappraise this bill sent by a senior leader and touch it up so that it will come to a real standard that will protect Nigerians.
That this bill is a very straightforward bill. Apart from the content, it was a unanimous decision of the Senate that the Senate leader brings up this bill. And the intendment was very clear, that kidnapping must be properly designated, its consequences aptly identified, and punishments meted out appropriately. And so, Mr. President, I think that we should go ahead and allow for a second reading of this bill in the hope that a properly designated act of criminality with its concomitant punishment will act as a deterrent to the daily occurrence of kidnapping in our country.
Elsewhere, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the United States would restrict visas over persecution of Christians in Nigeria. The United States already restricts visas for human rights abusers, and Trump has curtailed visas in general, especially for people from developing countries. Rubio, in a statement, said the United States would restrict issuing visas to people who have directed, authorized, significantly supported, and participated in or carried out violations of religious freedom. Trump, in November, stunned many by posting on social media that the United States was ready to take military action in Nigeria to counter the killing of Christians.
Now, mixed reactions are trailing the proposed increase in excise duties on non-alcoholic beverages. VOPTV's Matthew Gunswada has more in this report.
Letters addressed to the Senate President Godswill Akpabio, President Bola Tinubu requested the confirmation of 15 career ambassadors and 17 non-career ambassadors, a move seen as part of the administration's ongoing diplomatic restructuring. Among the high-profile non-career nominees are Ogbonnaya Kalu from Abia, Reno Omokri from Delta, former INEC chairman Mahmood Yakubu, former Ekiti First Lady Erelu Angela Adebayo, former Enugu State Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, Musa Maigari, former Katsina Speaker, Yakubu Gambo, former Plateau Commissioner, Otuba Femi Pedro, former Lagos Deputy Governor, Chief Femi Fani Kayode, the former Aviation Minister, Fatima Florence Ajimobi, former Oyo First Lady, among others. For the career ambassadors list, the president nominated Monica Okuchukwu from Abia State, Yakubu Danladi from Taraba, Maimuwa Ibrahim Besto from Adamawa, Musa Abubakar from Kebbi, among others. If confirmed by the Senate, these nominees will represent Nigeria across various diplomatic missions around the world. As Voice of the People TV, we got the opinion of Nigerians on this new round of ambassadorial nominations, and here is what they have to say.
I want to say first of all that I was so disappointed on the list the president brought out for submitted to the National Assembly for approval for ambassadorial positions. It might not be all, but a lot of them are people of questionable characters. Government dwell in wisdom, integrity, and honor. And based on that, every government must show seriousness in appointment of people to represent that particular government. And it has to do with image. The image of government is assessed by people that represent that government. Based on this appointment, I will call name because people like Reno Mokri has no business to be an ambassador of Nigeria.
They are using politics. I don't believe they can perform. Is that their profession? So that's there's no assurance that they can perform well. What of those ones that they have already sacked or resigned? What's their performance? They don't perform. They are just using politics for us to do. So those people, they are in the same caucus.
As the Senate begins the screening process, citizens say they will be watching closely to see how these nominees will shape Nigeria's diplomatic future in the years to come. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
That report was about the appointees of the ambassadorial nominees. We now move on to Awka, the Anambra State capital, where the proposal has drawn support as well as courteous optimism from residents. Proposal of the excise duty on soft drinks. VOP TV's Sachima Promise brings us up to speed on this development.
Ejiofor Umebogo said nothing stops the nation from making more money from the non-alcoholic drinks under excise duty. According to him, same reason that informed government's imposition of excise duty on alcoholic drinks also applies to the non-alcoholic, especially as its health hazards are on the increase.
Already, the nation is making so much money from taxes and excise on alcohol substance, from also raking money into our federation account from taxes and excise on non-alcoholic drinks. They are both taxable commodities. So I don't see the reason for the dichotomy. And moreover, who says we can't tax, we can't increase the taxes or excise duty on non-alcoholic drinks? After all, they are all drinks. There should not be any dichotomy. The so-called non-alcoholic drinks are mostly carbonated drinks that also poses health risk.
An economy policy analyst and lecturer at Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu University, Bwariam campus, Dr. Chukwunonso Ekesiobi, said government could upscale excise duty to regulate the activities in the market or bringing in penalty for the health challenge, especially for obesity and diabetes, or a way of increasing government revenue. He, however, said it could lead to harsh business operating environment in assessing foreign exchange, power supply, security, and other aspects of the ease of doing business. For Dr. Ekesiobi, an increased taxation would add an extra burden to producers because it will cut on their profits and productivity for a country that is struggling to increase output.
That news is a news that comes with different feelings. It depends on where you are. On the government side, you may see it as a way to maybe regulate the activities in that market or in that space. You can see it as a way of, bringing in a penalty for health challenges these drinks may be causing, especially in terms of obesity and diabetes. Or you can look at it in terms of a way of increasing government revenue, because these duties will add some level of increment to the government revenue. But on the other hand, for the economy, you have different perspectives to also look at. For instance, the already harsh business operating environment with what is going on with accessing foreign exchange, what is happening with electricity, there's power, there's security, there's other logistics, things that aid the ease of doing business. So when people struggle with all these things again, they now add an extra burden, which is what is going to look like to them. So it will cut on their profit and also their productivity for a country that is struggling to increase output.
With this various perspective elicited by the planned increase in excise duty on non-alcoholic beverages, the masses look up to government to explore the best approach that will not adversely affect the economy. Sachima Promise, Voice of the People Television.
On November 11, the Senate advanced a bill seeking to amend the Customs and Excise Act to increase excise duty on non-alcoholic beverages. The sponsor of the bill, Ikpalibo Ari Banigo, senator representing Rivers West, said the amendment was not merely fiscal in nature, but a public health investment to ensure that existing excise revenues were redirected towards improving healthcare delivery and promoting healthy living among Nigerians. Meanwhile, the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprise has urged the Senate Committee on Finance to withdraw its proposal, warning that the measure is ill-timed and potentially harmful to Nigeria's fragile economy. In a statement issued by its CEO, Dr. Muda Yusuf,
CPP argued that imposing additional tax burdens on soft drink manufacturers is inconsistent with the nation's current economic realities. As Voice of the People TV, we got the opinion of Nigerians towards this new proposed legislation.
Anyway, I don't blame the seniors. They are on their comfort zone. They are enjoying every largesse of government, and they don't know what we common people are suffering in the streets. When you continue to increase this thing, you are suffocating the people the more. Nigerian people are already overtaxed, already suffocating. In fact, many are suffocated to death. And when we continue to increase these things without taking cognizance of the hardship in the land, the hardship is the highest. Since I was born in Nigeria, I have not seen this level of hardship. And statistics are there. It's not because somebody helped Mr. President or somebody else, the elected officials and this thing. The point is that let's take the statistics for the past 10 years, for the past 20 years, for the past 5 years. How has Nigeria been? How has been the prices of things? How has people cope? In the past, government subsidized everything for the people. Petrol, diesel, kerosene, gas, education, call it even food. Government subside everybody. Now you pay everything. You even pay for your security. You pay for your water. What can Nigerian man benefit from government of the land?
What the first thing they have to do in this country is that, first of all, security. No food, nothing. Oh, people are suffering. People are suffering too much. Okay, can I hold 1,000 naira to solve myself in the morning? It's not enough for me. I know how much I spend a day. No food, nothing, and no work. So they should not increase it. It's affecting us. So okay, look what I did about the subsidy. It's affecting us up to today. It's affecting us.
They should consider the masses because that is what matters. So if the masses cannot afford it, who are they producing it for? So there's no need of increasing it.
As the proposed legislation awaits further proceedings, many Nigerians will be watching closely to see how this will impact the nation's economy in the years to come. Matthew Ogunswada, reporting for Voice of the People Television.
Away from that, Senator Danjuma Goje, representing Gombe Central, has clarified that there was no rift between him and Senate President Akpabio during Tuesday's rowdy session, describing the incident as a routine parliamentary procedure. Goje offered a clarification during Wednesday's plenary a day after he confronted Akpabio over what he called an unparliamentary act during proceedings. The senator, who had raised the point of order citing procedural rules, said his actions were misinterpreted by sections of the media.
Well, turning to other stories now, newly sworn-in chairman of the National Population Commission, Dr. Aminu Yusuf, has promised to conduct a transparent and acceptable national census, saying the exercise will be conducted to win public trust. Speaking with a State House correspondent shortly after he took the oath of office alongside 2 MPC commissioners, Yusuf said his immediate focus is on delivering a credible head count that Nigerians can own. The MPC board said he is confident in the quality of his team and the Commission's leadership.
Joining us virtually to analyze the news is Prince Francis Chilaka, a public affairs analyst. Welcome, Chilaka.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. Yeah, glad to have you join us. Let's start with this. Of course, you know that the Senate has confirmed former Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, retired as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense. His confirmation follows President Bola Tinubu's nomination. And of course, the Senate confirmed this today. But let me start with this. How do you see the proceedings or the confirmation or the process that got him confirmed? How would you actually say the Senate did a good job? We could see how Akpabio really stood up to say he would not take a bow. What do you think about this?
Well, no, I would start from the fact, I'll start looking at it from his nomination. I think the federal government is looking for acceptability. The federal government is looking for somebody that has credibility. The federal government is looking for somebody who can, be able to save their head as it is right now. So he is the only available person. Talking about the Senate, yes, I would say they did a good job. At least for once, we see questions being hurled at him. And, the way he answered, it shows you a man who understands his onions. Unlike all the other times when people come before the Senate and ask them to bow and take a walk. And when they bow and take a walk, you not expect them to be productive. They can't become productive because, they're not even sure what they're offering the nation. So yes, I think for once the Senate is living up to its bidding as a responsible institution, and I hope that they will carry this through. It's time we end all this abracadabra of take a bow and leave, where people should be asked critical questions, like they asked him. And, we need to hear, whoever is going to work for Nigerians, let him respond so that Nigerians will be able to form an informed opinion about that person.
All right, Francis, thank you so much. So General Musa retired had said that one of the challenges facing the country is the porosity of the nation's borders. Now, when he was the Chief of Defense Staff, it was an issue he had brought up. He alluded to the fact that Nigeria's borders can be fenced. He said it sounded laughable, and he wasn't really taken seriously. But do you think now that he is going to be in an executive position, he can really do some of the things he couldn't do as a soldier?
Well, it depends. If it's not about him being a minister, it's not about him. It's about the federal government having the political will to be able to do the right thing. I hope that they will do the right thing. For him, yes, Nigerians are looking up to him. And like I said, the government is looking for somebody that will give credibility to the administration, and that's why they've fallen back on him. So I want to believe that at the end of the day, the government will take him more seriously, listen to him, and implement some of the things he had advocated for. For me, I would want to see an end to this whole thing about reintegration and rehabilitation of bandits, Boko Haram, terrorists. It has to end. People must be held responsible for their actions. People must be punished for their actions. That is how you'll be able to end it. But if you keep giving room for people, you keep giving excuses, making excuses for people, then you're in one way or the other encouraging whatever it is they're doing that is not acceptable to the society.
Okay, so one of the things that the ex-CDS has said was that he was going to investigate the troop withdrawal before the Kebbi abduction. Would you say, how significant do you think this promise is? Would you say it's just, should Nigerians actually expect transparency or just another internal report that just goes down the drain?
Well, the irony of investigations in Nigeria, especially when it has to do with the executive arm of government, is that the Nigerians never get to, get to the end of it. They never get to find out what transpired. So that's a big problem. Yes, it's something that we should investigate. It's something that we should know what has happened. I mean, today I was reading something by a honorable member, I think the chairman of the chairman's committee on defense or so, talking about the fact that, the federal government will not make public the names of the financiers of terrorism. So that really shook me. And I was like, what does he mean by that? These are people who are financing killers. Why would you make it public? In other words, if you don't make it public, then you're keeping them close, you're hiding them from the truth. People should know, Nigerians deserve to know who those who are financing terrorism are. And so it's also proper that Nigerians know who gave the order, and the person must be punished. The problem with the Nigerian society is that people don't get punished for crimes committed, crimes against humanity. They don't get punished. So we must have that system that punishes everyone. When people embezzle government funds, they should be punished. When people become corrupt in the system, they should be punished. When somebody kills somebody, that person should be punished. We must not have two laws. One law that protects a set of people and another law that punishes a set of people. We must have one law that abides every Nigerian together.
All right, talking about people being punished for offenses, the Senate has taken a major step toward tightening Nigeria's anti-kidnapping laws, proposing the death penalty for kidnappers, as well as anyone who finances, enables, or provides information to them. So if they're not going to release the names of financiers of terrorism, how are they going to punish them? But hey, what do you make of this new bill that the Senate has put forward, the death penalty for kidnappers and the financiers?
For me, that bill is coming too late, but it's always, it's better late than never. We must have stringent rules that must be followed to the letter. I believe that if you have decided to carry arms, to kidnap somebody, to harm somebody who is not armed, then you must face the law. So this new bill by the National Assembly, if implemented to the letter, it will curb the menace of people financing terrorism. So we need to start from somewhere. And that is why it is important that we know who those financiers are. The government must make the name public. They must be made to face the law. That is the only way we can tame this cancer that is eating up this country.
Okay, thank you very much, Francis, for being a part of the News Hour. Thank you so much for your great analysis, as usual. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll bring you more stories to stay with us. Glad to have you back. You're still on to News Hour on VOP TV. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has launched empowerment programs for persons living with disabilities in Anambra State as part of a nationwide Renewed Hope Initiative social investment program aimed at promoting inclusive growth and shared prosperity. This exercise, which coincides with the commemoration of the International Day of Persons Living with Disabilities, is being launched simultaneously across the 36 states of the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory and the Defense and Police Officers' Wives Association. It is a program designed to provide the sum of 200,000 Naira business recapitalization grants to 250 persons living with disabilities in each state and the FCT. Wife of the Anambra State Governor, Noye Soludo, who was represented by the Deputy Governor's wife, Oluchi Bezem, while launching the program at the Lighthouse Oka on Wednesday, noted that the initiative was a testament to the President's wife's commitment to empowering the less privileged.
And as the world marks the International Day of Persons with Disabilities today, the Lagos State government used the occasion to renew its commitment to a more inclusive society. At an event organized by the Lagos State Office for Disability Affairs, persons with disabilities shared their experiences, while the state announced a new policy direction to strengthen inclusion. Our correspondent, Onyeka Ogolo, reports.
Edo State today joined the world in marking the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. This year's theme is fostering disability-inclusive societies for advancing social progress. The city hosted awareness walks and community activities aimed at promoting accessibility and supporting persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities actively took part in the celebration. Some participants shared their thoughts and experiences on the significance of the day, highlighting the importance of inclusion and equal opportunities.
So today, I'm happy to be part of this celebration.
Today, join the global community at the International Day of Persons with Disability with a strong message on dignity, access, and inclusion. At the event organized by the Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs, participants from across the disability community highlighted the progress made so far and the challenges that still limit full participation in society.
We are also human beings like them, that what others can do, we can also do better.
Our mobility has to do with our challenges. People don't sometimes, like I am partially sighted. Most people don't know that there's a condition called partially sightedness. So when they see me move around and they ask me to write, maybe sign a paper or something, and I'm like, I can't do that. They wonder why and stuff like that. And then maybe I want to use my system and I need assistive technology like a like NVDA screen reader to read it, or just people wonder why. Why am I not just using a regular laptop or just doing things the way every other person is doing it? So that's some challenges we face at work, and sometimes maybe in marketplaces, at home with different people. People don't understand that there is a condition called partially sighted, or sometimes when people see the blind, they look like aliens. So they don't understand that when you see someone is blind, the person is not necessarily caused by a god.
Speakers stressed that when persons with disability are included, their skills and contributions become undeniable, their relevance becomes visible, and their success is guaranteed.
When the disabled are accepted, there will be provisions for their needs, just like every other person.
There is ability in those children if they are given the chance to participate, the chance to be around their peers, their age group, and they can also bring out that ability in them only if they allow that inclusion. Allow them to be together with them. They can ginger them to bring out that ability in those children.
Persons with disabilities can do a lot more. And like you said, the advocacy is helping us to really shape the minds of people. Disability is not a disease. And so, because it's not a disease, then, there's so much that can be done about it.
The state government reaffirmed its commitment to global principles such as the United Nations Convention on Rights of Persons with Disability and the Sustainable Development Goals, especially those focused on equity, education, decent work, and inclusive community. They emphasize that inclusion is a right, not a privilege.
Today, I am pleased to announce that very soon, Lagos State will introduce the Lagos Disability Inclusion Compact. It's a comprehensive policy framework designed to deepen accessibility, expand inclusive education, strengthen transportation support, enhance economic empowerment programs, improve digital accessibility, and reinforce LASODA's regulatory and enforcement powers.
The government also called for stronger partnership, noting that it cannot build an inclusive society alone. It appealed to private sectors, employers, technology creators, faith-based organizations and communities to open doors, design accessible platforms, and dismantle discrimination.
Our administration and policy is about everyone. Our Things Plus developmental agenda speaks to this. The plus is an intentional, deliberate focus on inclusivity.
Every resident to recommit to dignity, justice, and empathy. And people build a strong society where ability is defined, not mobility. I'm Onyeka Ogolo, reporting for VOP TV.
Thank you. We take you to Edo State now, where it was lit up today with energy and solidarity as it joined the rest of the world to mark the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. From awareness walks to community gatherings, the celebration put a spotlight on inclusion, reminding everyone that building a society where all can thrive is a shared responsibility. Our correspondent Rhoda Jenny provides more.
International Day of Persons with Disabilities. This year's theme is fostering disability-inclusive societies for advancing social progress. The city hosted awareness walks and community activities aimed at promoting accessibility and supporting persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities actively took part in the celebrations, joined by residents who showed solidarity and support throughout the events. Some participants shared their thoughts and experiences on the significance of the day, highlighting the importance of inclusion and equal opportunities.
So today, I'm happy to be proud to be part of this celebration, because since I became the commission chairman, this is my first assignment as a commission chairman to celebrate with my people, persons with disability Edo State. So I'm very happy to celebrate with them today, and it's a dinner joy that Senator Monde Okpewo, the governor of Edo State, as soon as entered into power, the first thing he did, it was set up this commission for persons with disability Edo State. I say kudos to the governor. I say thank you to the governor for remembering the persons living with disability in Edo State to carry us along in all the things he has promised. In all the things that he's going to do as a governor, we must be carried along, and he's carrying us along. The governor is doing well. We have an office, we have a staff, and he's committed to the commission.
The day provided a platform for reflection and dialogue, emphasizing the need for continued effort toward a fully inclusive society. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, UOP TV News.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. Away from that, this next report says the Bayagon Ile royal family in the Felodun Council area of Kwara State has raised an alarm over the fate of the monarch, Oba Kamilu Salami, who was kidnapped 4 days ago and still in captivity. Salami was abducted on Saturday, and his captors have since contacted the community demanding a ransom of 150 million naira. Debunking what he described as fake news in circulation, spokesman for the royal family, Rafiu Lawal, stated that Salami was still in captivity, contrary to reports that he has been rescued by local hunters. Lawal disclosed that he spoke with Salami on December 2nd with the monarch, confirming that he was still in the custody of his abductors. He urged the public, the media, and community members to verify information about the monarch's situation directly with the royal family to avoid misinformation and anything that could further jeopardize his chances of being rescued or released.
Well, on the foreign scene now, the Kremlin says that President Vladimir Putin accepted some United States proposals towards ending the war in Ukraine and rejected others, but that Russia would meet U.S. negotiators as many times as it would to take to reach an arrangement. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov spoke after talks in Moscow between Putin and U.S. President Donald Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, and son-in-law, Jared Kushner, went into the early hours of Wednesday morning. Though a Kremlin aide disclosed afterwards that compromises have not yet been found, Peskov said it would not be correct to say that Putin had rejected the proposals. He explained that a direct exchange of views took place for the first time, with some things accepted and some marked as unacceptable, adding that this is a normal working process of finding a compromise.
In the meantime, Germany has become the first European nation to deploy the Arrow air defense system built to intercept intermediate-range ballistic missiles such as Russia's Orange Snake, as it seeks to counter what it sees as a growing threat from Moscow. Operating at altitudes above 100 kilometers outside the Earth's atmosphere and with a range of 2,400 kilometers, the stationary Arrow system complements shorter-range air defenses such as the Trax-mounted Patriot and Iris-T missiles. Defense Minister Boris Pistorius emphasized the system's value for early warning and protection of the population and infrastructure. Pistorius explained that with this strategic capability, which is unique among European partners, they are securing their key role in the heart of Europe. He added that by so doing, Germany was strengthening the European pillar of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and meeting one of its targets.
Well, in business news, Edo says Deputy Governor Dennis Idahosa has assured investors of a supportive business environment, emphasizing collaboration with multinational companies and host communities under Governor Monday Okpebholo's Shine agenda. Correspondent Rhoda Johnny has details.
Deputy Governor Dennis Idahosa has assured investors and multinational companies operating in the state of a business-friendly environment under Governor Monday Okpebholo's Shine agenda. The assurance followed a meeting with representatives of Pan Ocean Oil Corporation Nigeria Limited and New Cross Exploration and Production Limited at his office. The discussions focus on strengthening collaboration, corporate social responsibilities, and engagement with host communities.
For us in Edo, we are encouraging all the investors to come in and invest in Edo State. And the easy ways of doing business in line with the economic drive of the executive governor of our state, distinguished Senator Monday Okpebholo, is top-notch. I want to encourage all Edo citizens that His Excellency is doing so much in the area of infrastructure to give accessible road to major companies and communities, and also is ensuring that there is security of life and property across the state by investing aggressively in area of security. So on that note, they were very pleased with the meeting, and they have assured us that we should come as well for on-the-spot assessments of inspection. The
meeting also paved the way for closer operational oversight and planned site inspections aimed at improving partnership between the state and companies.
I've done so much to provide an enabling environment for them to operate. And we are quite encouraged with that because we are concerned with issues that borders on boundary-related disputes and others. The purpose of today's interface and colloquy is part of an ongoing effort to ensure that in all intrastate and interstate disputes, that these disputes are resolved very, very amicably, so that we will have peace among the respective states, so that security can continue to be very robust.
Through infrastructure and security investments, the state continues to ensure a safe and accessible environment for businesses. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, BOP TV News.
Thank you very much, Rhoda. We now move on to sports, where Edo State is set to shine as the host of the 2026 Niger Delta Sports Festival. The event, themed Beyond Oil, Harnessing Talents, will bring together athletes from across the Niger Delta, celebrating youth talent, promoting regional unity, and boosting sports development in the region. Correspondent Rhoda Johnny again reports.
The Development Commission has asked Edo State to host the 2026 Niger Delta Sports Festival. A delegation led by the NDDC Managing Director, Chief Samuel Ogboko, visited Governor Monday Okpebholo at Government House in Benin City to formally present the request. The festival, themed Beyond Oil, Harnessing Talents, is aimed at harnessing youth talents and promoting regional unity across the Niger Delta.
The 7th governing board of the NDDC, we look at the Niger Delta, and we realize that in order to build conviviality amongst us and regional integration, we needed to use sports as a tool to strengthen our regional integration. Use this opportunity to present to you the hosting right of the Niger Delta Sports Festival 2026, which will hold in February next year in Edo State.
I'm sure the one you hosted last year, we brought you our third 11, but we are going to release our first 11 now.
Chairman of the Edo State Sports Commission, Amadi Enabulele, said preparations will focus on venue readiness, logistics, and coordination with relevant agencies to ensure a smooth festival.
Excellency, we want to thank you for all that you are doing in Edo State Sports Commission in terms of infrastructure, sports facilities. Your Excellency, we are grateful. Festival proper that will let you know that Edo State is a land that is rich in culture heritage.
The 2026 edition is expected to attract athletes from Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, and other Niger Delta states, further strengthening sports development in the region. In Benin, Rhoda Johnny, UOP TV News.
Well, Rhoda, thank you. Well, in entertainment news, Burna Boy is set to cover the funeral costs for the victims of a mass shooting at a 2-year-old birthday party in Stockton, California. The African giant was moved after hearing details of the November 30 attack on the Breakfast Club radio show. He reportedly contacted American music executive WAC 100, who connected him with Jason Lee, CEO of Hollywood Unlocked and Stockton's vice mayor. The gesture comes during a challenging time for Burna Boy.
And that's it on News Hour. Thank you very much for watching. I am Nenna Ndomdioto.